Hey guys, Matthew, and today I want to tell you guys about why I deleted my Headhunter, what is going to happen going forward, how we actually got the Headhunter in the first place. Essentially, this was my crafting Headhunter series, which I decided to remove from my channel as it felt like it wasn't much of a guide, more so like a vlog kind of series, but it does seem like a lot of people appreciated it, so I might actually go back to that sort of, I guess, video format when it comes to the upcoming challenge that I'm going to do, because now that I deleted my Headhunter, I don't have a Headhunter anymore. So, well, it's time to get another one. So today I want to talk about essentially how we went about getting it and why I deleted it. So I think we're going to start with the elephant in the room. Why the hell would I just delete a Headhunter less than a month into the league, just a few weeks, that I had worked, you know, for about a week or so to be able to get? So the reason is very simple. I'm sure you guys have seen it recently, a wave of people just leaving the streaming community for Path of Exile or content creation as a whole. And that's pretty much the answer, is that it's not necessarily easy. I think Zizran made a great video about that the other day where he said streaming is the easiest job in the world, right? Being a content creator is the easiest job in the world, because obviously you're just paid to play video game, but it's also the most competitive job in the world ever, right? Everybody wants to be a streamer, you know, so you're basically, as a streamer, as a content creator, it's your content versus someone else's content, right? And unfortunately, you can't always win, right? Analytics talk a lot, and it's all about a game of numbers. And when someone comes along and, you know, has a lot of money in real life and decides to, you know, pay for you to do stupid things like deleting a Headhunter as a content creator, where currency is very easy to get for me, and, you know, real life money on the other hand is a little bit harder, I decided, well, why not? Now, just to be transparent, what happened essentially, guy dropped $100 in my chat, was like, yo, how much for you to delete the Headhunter? And this was at the start of the series, right? So I didn't have the Headhunter at all yet. So I knew going forward, if I accepted this, I was going to have to work to do something just to delete it as soon as I got it. So I jokingly said, I'll $300 and I'll val it, 500 and I'll delete it. I thought it was a joke. 5 minutes later, $500 in my bank account. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I guess this Headhunter is not going to live for very long. So have a look at the clip. This is basically a speed run, any percent deleting a Headhunter. Could have been a lot faster. I definitely fumbled on my clicks there. I thought I was ready for it, but it took like at least an extra second, I think. But anyways, this was the clip of me deleting Headhunter and why I did it. Now let's talk about how I went about getting a Headhunter, how long it took, and what I did. So let me go on D&D. Sorry about that. So the series started 13 days ago today, right? This was the start of the series on the fresh new account, which had nothing on it whatsoever. I actually took a whole 4 days because I said that I was not rushing, right? I said that I was going to be going very slow and just chilling and all that. So 9 days ago is when we officially started crafting. Before that, it was essentially just progressing the Atlas and unlocking Harvest on the map device, as it does require you to have like 140 maps or so completed on your Atlas, so it took a while. So now I went ahead and did the math for you guys, and this day, we spent the whole day, you know, playing towards, you know, crafting and whatnot, like crafting a Headhunter, like the title of the series was. Then the next day I had a sponsored stream, so we only played for 4 hours of Path of Exile. Then we had a 7 hours and 20 minute stream, 7 hours 30 minutes, 6 hours and 30 minutes, and then we officially completed the challenge 2 days ago, 3 hours into the stream. For the other 4 hours, I was actually chancing leather belts nonstop. I don't know why I did that. My wrist is still hurting from it, but it was a good time. So it took me a total of 35.6 hours in order to acquire my Headhunter with actual crafting, right? Because the content prior to that, so when I was actually completing my Atlas, all that currency that I made was put and invested into my character. And as you saw in the clip deletion, actually, I didn't have to sell my character or anything else to buy the Headhunter. I actually had another 40 exalts worth on the account when I got the Headhunter for 135x. So in total, I made 175x. But like I said, a lot of that went onto the character while I was progressing the Atlas, because obviously I wanted to be able to do, you know, all the content. That's what was necessary, and being able to do it faster is sometimes worth more than just stockpiling currency, right? Investing into your character in order to be able to make more currency was the idea. So we made a total of 135x, which is what I paid for the Headhunter, in let's just say 36 hours. So that's rounds up to about 3.75 exalts per hour, and this was all done on stream except for one little flip that was done off stream, and it was accidental. I was basically looking at minion helmets, and I saw a massive discrepancy. So I was looking at T1 plus 3 socketed minion gems helmet with T1 minion damage, T1 minion life on a bone helmet, Elder that is, and I saw that I was able to get those for, I was able to buy one for 15x and another for 17x, right? So right now the cheapest is 16, but then it goes up to 24 and so on, right? Well, I was able to get one for 15 and one for 17, and then when I looked at when it has the nearby enemies take physical damage modifier, well, it was over 30, as you can see, 30, 35, and so on. I bought two of these helmets, the 15 and the 17x one, and I basically bought them. I crafted prefixes cannot be changed, which is 2 exalts, and I did reforge plus physical in order to force on this nearby enemies take 9% physical damage, and I sold both of them for 35 exalts, and this was all done within one morning. It was basically pure luck that I just fell onto that, but that gave us about 20 exalts or so, just pure profit, right? Very quick profit, even more than that, maybe 30 exalts. So that was a pretty good flip, which was very unintended, but I wasn't going to pass upon it because it was just too good. Like, honestly, it was just too good. So anyways, that's pretty much all that happened in terms of off-stream stuff. The rest is all entirely in the Vods, which you can easily check, but it rounds out to about 3 or so exalt per hour. So how did I go about making 3 exalts per hour? Well, I basically just farmed harvest, right? I made a video guide about the only guide for harvest you will ever need. So it's actually funny because you could actually probably make quite a bit more than I did. Now, why is that? Truth be told, I was not being efficient whatsoever, right? In my guide, in my harvest guide, in the text document, right, I went and I talked about how to actually maximize every single little thing in harvest, how to maximize, you know, the oils, the delirium orbs, the harbinger uniques, the breach stones, all of that. I pretty much was ignoring it, nearly all of it. My currency was made off of pretty much exclusively reforges. So reforge, cold, fire, whatever. Again, also available in my guide. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead. It's really extensive. But that's essentially how I got the Headhunter. Initially, I thought I was going to do that and also Betrayal, but I think I did a total of just maybe 3 or 4 Betrayal safe houses, maybe even less than that. I think it might have been 3. All of them had an Ashling in it, which I sold for 3x or so, so that basically made maybe 10x off of Betrayal in the entirety of the challenge. It was really just harvest that was hard carrying, and the reason for that is simple. You're buying bases which are 5 or 10 chaos, and you're turning them into 1.5, or 0.5, 2x, 2.5x, just all the time, and it's really not that hard. You just need to be prepared. So that's essentially how we did. Now again, the Headhunter is already gone, so it's time to get a new one. For those interested, I'll have the build that I actually played for the entirety of that challenge listed in the description. It's a build made by DS Lily, fastest tanky Path of Exile character. It was basically a Raider ArchMage Bladefall Blade Blast. Absolutely had a blast on it, but it was a bit of a slower map clear. I'm really looking forward to my next challenge, which I started yesterday. So let me give you guys basically a bit of a rundown on that. What happened essentially is I got in contact with GGG and they told me, yes, we can reset all your characters, we can reset your tabs, we can reset all that. We cannot reset your Atlas. Under any circumstances, we cannot reset your Atlas. So because of that, I was like, okay, well, I guess we are going to have to cheat a little bit. So I was already playing a Raider, so what I decided to do was basically just, I de-leveled my character from level 94 to 69, if I remember correctly. De-leveled to 69 from 94 or 95, I can't quite remember, and I deleted literally everything in my stash. The only thing that I didn't delete was my maps, but I gave myself a bit of a handicap. Because I was starting with maps already available, and because I was starting with my atlas already somewhat done. I mean, it's not a very impressive atlas whatsoever. It's not like I have 164 atlas or awakening bonus or anything. It's a pretty awful atlas. I'm not even able to do Cyrus currently because I'd have to go do the corner watchstones, but with the strategy that I'm going for this time, I'm actually not even going to spawn Cyrus. I don't think so for the entirety of the challenge this time around. But what I did is I deleted all my master missions. As you can see, I will be doing red maps. So I kept the Xanas and the Nikos because I don't run Xana or Nikos ever. I only run Einhar, Alva, and Juns. So I'm not going to be touching these. They're just going to keep stockpiling. But I deleted and reset all of my red atlas missions. I'm already capable of doing red maps. This character, essentially, I de-leveled it down to 69. And then what I did is I took about 40 chaos or so, and I made a elemental hit character. It wasn't great, let me tell you what. It was not very good, but it was capable of farming the good old, Quarry. I was able to farm Quarry with that, so I did that for about an hour. Maybe or somewhere around an hour, maybe a bit more, and that allowed me to buy my 6-link Death Harp and the Death Opus Prophecy for a total of 40 chaos, and that allowed me to give myself a 6-link Death's Opus. That also allowed me to get the Dying Sun, which I got through the cards because they were 11C each instead of paying 30C for the Dying Sun. So I saved 40 chaos on the bow from doing it myself, and 10 chaos on the Dying Sun, which was pretty good. And then I basically just started doing white and yellow maps. Just whatever I had laying around. For this strategy, we're going to be focusing on Turn's End, Big Game, Great Migration, The Which You Seek, Trespassers, and Exotic Goods. As you can see, my atlas is not completed whatsoever. But I was doing white maps, and then as my gems started leveling up, I was able to start doing yellow maps. And then right before logging off, not long before logging off yesterday, I was finally able to afford my Exhaust Blood from farming these white maps. So we got the Exhaust Blood, and now our damage is through the roof, so we're able to farm red maps. So obviously, though, I didn't have to spend, the time to re-level the character. I also didn't have to spend the time to redo my atlas. But again, it's not a very impressive atlas whatsoever. So I do still consider this a 0 to hero because I started with 0 currency and I'm not allowed to sell any of the maps. Which means not only am I not allowed to sell any of the maps that I had previously for my other character, but I will not be selling a single map through the entirety of this time as I'm getting my Headhunter this time around, which is definitely going to, be nice because I hate selling maps, but also be a little bit annoying because there's a lot of value in maps this league, and sustaining when you know what you're doing is actually not that hard. So it's a bit of a handicap to make it even harder. Not only that, I'm going in a region which is considered pretty bad by everyone, so I'm really trying to, I don't know, just have fun, I guess. But I will keep you guys updated on how things are going. The character, I'll have a link to the guide from it. It's basically this one right here from Nevanda's Gaming. I have to say the build guide is absolutely amazing. The POB is really well done. He's got the links for things to buy and all that. It's really, really good stuff. But that's pretty much what we're working with. Elemental hit, level 88 right now. Our res are capped, or almost anyways. We're missing 1 cold res somehow. And right before I got off, I was able to get myself an Inspired Learning, which I think is going to hard carry because it's so good this league with the league mechanic to have even just one of those. And fortunately on this character, it's free, right? Because you already get all of these nodes. So this is pretty much a free spot for an Inspired Learning. I will be thinking about a way to maybe try to get one in here as well, because Inspired Learnings feel so good when it comes to speed clearing map, which is what this entire strategy is going to be about. So I've been rambling for long enough. I think it's about time I call it for today. And I'll be updating you guys on how the series is going, and of course a little bit more details about the strategy whenever it's actually set up, as right now it's not. I don't have the watchstones, I don't have the nodes, I don't really have anything. Matter of fact, I think I have 13 chaos in my stash. So I'll be updating you guys in the coming days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the recap of the old series as well, and the conclusion of it, as well as going forward. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Before I go, though, I want to say massive thank you to my supporters: Flame Scorpion, Richard C, Willie D, Alex, Jordan, Emil, Raymond, Tim, Scott, Lost with the Map, Grimoire, Nathaniel, Kremis, Justin, Kevin, the other Justin, So Nice, Axel, Mercury, and Bizen, as well as, of course, anybody else who is listed here, anybody else who has supported me in the past, and also everyone who wishes to remain anonymous. That'll be Matthew signing out. Until the next one. Peace.